Hello friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new and not subscribed, I am Kayla Bame, and you should really think about subscribing to my channel because the bestest, greatest things in the world happen when you do that. So, subscribe. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers, guys, okay? That's our goal, 6,000. We got a long way to go, but we'll make it there. I know we will. So for today's video, it's gonna be an art video, kind of. I haven't done an art video in a while, but it's gonna be an art video. I was looking on Pinterest and Etsy because I like seeing all the anime art that people do, and I was noticing that there's this trend that apparently came from the app TikTok, and it's anime glass paintings, which it doesn't have to be anime. It could be like cartoon characters like Winnie the Pooh or whatever the heck you want to do a glass painting for. But my interest is in anime, so obviously I was looking at the anime ones, and I was looking at them and they look so cool because it's a transparent background, because it's glass. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta do it, and if I gotta do it, I gotta film it. So this video is going to be my first time trying out a glass painting slash, I guess, kind of a tutorial on how to do these glass paintings. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anime. You could do just about anything. I just chose to do an anime character because I like anime characters, okay? So here's the video. Okay, so for my glass paintings, I just picked up an 8x10 frame from the Dollar Tree, and then I took the frame apart and grabbed the glass out from it because when I was looking on Amazon, glass panes are super expensive to buy, but you know what's not expensive? Dollar Tree frames. So that's where I got my glass from. So then I printed out the picture that I wanted to do, and I took a Craft Smart multi-surface marker that I bought from Michael's, and I began outlining his face, hair, or the little feature lines like his nostrils and stuff. I outlined all those with this marker because this is going to be the first layer of the painting, I guess you could say. The biggest thing with these glass paintings is that it's not like a normal painting where you would do the base coat first and then all the details and outlining last. For these glass paintings, everything is backwards. So we do the outlining of everything first, and then we go back and then we do the details first, and then the base coat would be last. There are also a couple different markers that you could use. The biggest thing is you just don't want these markers to smudge because that'll cause bigger problems for your painting and a lot more work. But I heard you can use stuff like Sharpies would work, but Sharpies also will smudge on the glass. This Craft Smart marker that I got a set, and it was pretty inexpensive at Michael's, and it's been working pretty good for me so far, so that's a good marker choice, I guess. So once you finish outlining, sometimes, you know, if you're not a perfect human being like me, you're gonna need to go back and fix some of your lines. This is the first painting that I did, so my technique was not very good. So in order to erase this marker, there's not a lot of things that can erase it. Like water is not going to erase it because it was meant to stick on glass without coming off very easily. So I got acetone or nail polish and a Q-tip, and that gets it off very easily. The biggest issue that I was having with the Q-tip is obviously Q-tips aren't very small, so it was kind of difficult to get fine lines. For example, the lines that are under his eyes, it was extremely hard to try and get those very small because those are lines that you don't really want to be thick. So the Q-tip wasn't really working for me. I tried to make it work. It's just very difficult to use the Q-tip, especially in small spaces, which is why I tried using a paper towel, which also was not working very well for me. So I have made a few more paintings after this video, and I learned that toothpicks and paper clips are really good for taking off the marker. It doesn't erase it like the acetone does, but you can kind of chip it away so that'll make the lines thinner and more fine and not so thick. But when I was making this video, obviously it was my first time, so I didn't know that this would work. So just keep toothpicks in mind. Okay, so this is the part that was kind of confusing to me because I have painted on a canvas before, and if you've ever painted on a canvas, you know that you start with the base coat and then you add on from there. So you start with bigger surfaces and more general colors, and then you start building detail to the painting. However, with the glass painting, it is completely different and backwards. You need to start off with the details first, so the shadows and the highlights of his face I did first, because you're gonna build the layers on top of it, so when you flip the glass around, this is what's gonna be seen first. Did that make any sense? I'm trying to be professional, okay? Professional Kayla Bame in the building, but I don't think I make any sense. I don't know. Just do the details first. That's what I did. And then once the details like the shadows and the highlights dry, then you can start adding on the base coat. And it's really important that before you go on to the next layer, that you make sure the previous layers are dried, because a couple of times I got very impatient and I just wanted to finish the painting and the colors started to seep into each other. Now, I know that sounds like an obvious thing to happen, but if you're an impatient person like me, you don't really want that to happen. You just want the painting to be done. So just make sure that it's dry. You can use a blow dryer to dry the layers. And once those layers are dry, when you put the next layer on, you can go completely over the previous layer, because once that layer is dried and down, that's gonna show up on the glass already. So you can just go right over previous layers and not have to worry about it showing up, because it's going to show up when you flip the glass over. And I know I sound like I'm rambling because this is so difficult to explain because it's so backwards. So, an example, I did his red veins first, and once those red veins are dried, then I'm gonna put his skin color all over the red veins and not really like go around the veins. I'm just gonna go directly on top of the veins because I don't have to worry about it once it's dried. It's on the glass, it'll be there by the time I flip it over. So when I did this painting, since it was my first one, obviously there was a lot to learn. It's important as well, if you want your piece to come out looking good, that you make sure you kind of go in to your black outline and into other layers just to make sure that everything's covered up, because I was trying to be very cautious of not going over the lines, and I ended up missing some spots against the outline. So there were little spots missing because I didn't go into the black outline, I just kind of went around it. So you kind of want to mix into other layers and stuff just to make sure every inch is covered. Another thing that I learned while I was doing this is that when you put a layer on, it may look like it's covered well, but it's still acrylic paint, so 9 times out of 10, one layer of paint is not going to be enough. You're gonna need another layer of paint. And this is probably also a good time to mention that I know it looks really clumpy, like I'm putting the paint on in clumps. This is what you want to do. You want the paint really like globbed on there, because you need to cover the surface. And I don't know if you've ever painted on glass before, but it's so difficult to cover it all up. Like the window paintings were so, like it took 15 layers of paint to make it look like a solid color. So if you glob it on there like this, you're gonna need like maybe 2 layers. So that's why I'm just globbing it on. So this is what it looks like on the back by the time I was finished. It looks really gross and clumpy, but when you flip it over, Look at how great that looks. Crazy, huh? Also, I guess this is a good time to mention, I opened up an Etsy shop where I will do customized glass paintings, and like I said earlier, it's not just anime paintings. I've done cartoon characters like Winnie the Pooh and the Cookie Monster. I've even done some mason jar flowers, which were pretty cool. So if you want to go check out my Etsy shop, that'll be in the description down below. I also have an Instagram art page called Kayla Bame Art, so I'll link that below too. So if you want to go check that out, go check it out. Alright, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave in the comments down below what you thought of my glass painting. I think for my first time doing it, obviously there's some things that could be a little bit better, but for the first time doing it, I think it came out pretty cool, okay? I think the idea of these is just so cool looking, and I had to try it, and I'll probably do it again because this was super easy and I actually had a really fun time doing it, and probably after filming this video I'm gonna do another one. So if you want to see some more of my art, you can also follow me on social media because I like to post my art pieces a lot on my social medias, okay? Link to those in the description down below. But I'll see you guys back here next week. Peace.